Hi folks, Lou here, and I'm going to talk about words, specifically about words that change meaning over time, usually to become less specific and less useful, but not always. And of course, sometimes words are invented, but this time I want to concentrate on one word, the word great, as used in games. Now, what I've noticed is that the word great has changed meaning in gaming circles to where any game that's pretty good is called great. And then games that we would once have called average or mediocre are now called good. And we don't use the kinds of words we used to use for games that are really poor, like crap or dog or very weak. There's not much criticism of that sort. There are lots of cases where people say, "Oh, I don't like that game," but they're not criticizing the game design. They're just saying it's a kind of game that they don't like. And of course, that happens all the time. There are many, many games that some people think are really good or even great in the old sense of the word, but other people think are crap, awful, because they don't like what the game does. And in games, if you don't learn anything else over time, you learn that there are a vast number of different preferences in games, what people like and what they don't like. So anyway, I try to focus on what makes a game exceptionally good, not great, because there's so much disagreement about things. Trying to say what makes a game great is close to hopeless. Now, I used to do a talk at Gen Con when I went to Gen Con that was, of course, you can design a game, but can you design a good one? And I talked about the characteristics of good games there, but they were characteristics of good games from my own point of view, and that's not necessarily how other people see it. After all, some people really prefer puzzles and not games. In fact, a great many people, possibly the majority of people who play games, both video games and tabletop games, really prefer puzzles and not games. But I've talked about that in other contexts, so I'm not going to talk about it here. Thanks for listening.